and it will be Matole.
The level of racing that he's achieved is extremely rare. The quality fields that he's beat. That's what makes him the fastest horse in the world.
The final time was a new stakes record.
Matole, he did it again! Matole's a monster! Matole wins the sprint! Oh, what a horse he is!
The mighty Matole.
Hello everybody, Mike Welsch coming to you from the Del Mar paddock with the final daily racing form workout report for the 2021 Breeders' Cup, brought to you by the good folks at Spendthrift Farm. Well, the weather again, cold, damp. Luckily the fog held off for most of the morning, although some bad timing kind of moved in on us as about a dozen European horses went out over the turf course, and the Europeans were the ones that again did the most serious business today. As we mentioned yesterday, most of the American horses got in their big work last week, but some significant works and gallops to report this morning from the Euros over the turf. The first one was Tianda, a 3-year-old filly, I think that's got a big future ahead of us. She facing a formidable task, taking on the older males in the turf this year, but she looked good this morning. She won a half mile around those wide dogs in 52 and 4, finished really strong, and then galloped out with a lot of good energy too. She actually had to go inside the cones into the turn to avoid a couple other horses that were just beginning their gallops on the turn, so we avoided any issue there, but it was a good morning for Tianda. The Charles Appleby 6 Breeders' Cup horses were back out on the turf today. They were the ones that were kind of getting in Tianda's way at the end of that work. And 3 of them, although not officially recorded times on the workout tab, they worked this morning. They did breeze, led by Master of the Seas. He's prepping for the mile, went the half mile in 51 and 3 after open galloping into that work. Did finish on his left lead. We see some of that. Some of the Europeans will regularly finish on the left lead. Behind them were stablemates Walton Street and Beer. They're both prepping for the turf. They went a little slower, but did go a half mile. I had them both in 53 and 3. Dubai Legend and Hierarchy, we talked about them yesterday. They blew out a quarter mile over the grass course yesterday. Today they came back and open galloped at fast enough to record the last 6 furlongs in 17 and 2. They were in tandem, and behind them came stablemate Open Road, who also went 3/4 in 17 and change after open galloping in company with another stablemate. The one European horse I was not really impressed with today was Miss Unseen. She seemed a little lackluster and was actually eased up coming to the wire today, so we'll see if that has any effect. She's scheduled to run over the weekend as well. The one European horse that's really caught my eye here all week long is the German-based Group 1 winner, Sisfahan, who's also going. She's an outsider in the turf, but boy, this horse has looked good all week, and this morning went a mile from quarter pole to quarter pole in 152 and change, tossing 13 and change 8th miles down the backstretch. Actually, the middle half I had in 52 and change. So on paper, maybe not one of the ones you're going to look at, but from the way she's trained, I think you have to give her a little bit more consideration. And when you talk about the Europeans, you got to talk about Aiden's Army, trainer Aiden O'Brien. Again, another aggressive morning for all 7 of his horses. When they turned into the stretch, they were 7 across the track in perfect precision. Not one of them turned ahead, not one of them missed a beat, and they came down the lane pretty quick. They were throwing 14-second ace at us for almost 6 furlongs down the stretch and into the turns. So you see a big difference in how training styles between the American horses coming into a race like races like this and the Europeans, more aggressive as they get on top of the races this weekend. Of the horses that caught my eye this morning, again, there's a number of them. Almost 200 horses galloped here this morning, but some did stand out more than others, and we'll start right at the top. Life is Good. Again, among the first horses out on the track at 5:30 a.m. every morning. He is an aggressive training in his training, so they want to get him out early. And this morning, not only did he look strong as usual, but a lot more focused today. He was on his proper lead coming down the stretch. The other morning saw him on his left lead with his head cocked out, looking into the grandstand. Today, proper lead, head straight, looked great this morning. Life is Good. And right after Life is Good, a horse that I've been waiting to see, wanting to see, came into town late, hadn't had a chance to look at him yet, got to see him this morning, and that's Special Reserve, and I thought he looked absolutely terrific today, primed and ready for a big effort in the sprint. Got Stormy, came out later yesterday, came out early this morning. No difference in the way she went, though. She looked good both mornings. She's doing well since she's gotten here for trainer Mark Cassie. And other ones just want to mention, off the top of my head, Command Performance, another good morning there. It was the hard to hold Bubble Rock, who was kind of all over the track coming down the stretch. The rider trying to get control of him, and then galloped out strongly down the backstretch into the fog. Couldn't see much of him, or into the haze and dark. Couldn't see much more of him after that. Following C, I loved him again. The relaxed Ferenz Fire. Ferenz Fire used to this stuff by now. This is going to be his 5th Breeders' Cup start, and like I said, he took it all in very nice. He looked very relaxed galloping down the stretch today, and he didn't take a bite at anybody either, so that's a good sign too. And the horse I think maybe is trained the best of anybody on a regular basis here was terrific again this morning, and that was Warlike Goddess, just full of run coming down the stretch into and around the turn, and her rider had a tough time pulling her up until getting to the end of the backstretch. So I look for a big effort out of Warlike Goddess this weekend. We got to the break. After that was before the break, after the break, after dawn. Among the notable ones, Essential Quality, I thought had his best morning since he's been here. Schooled at the starting gate, had a pretty aggressive 1.5 mile gallop, so thumbs up for Essential Quality. Mentioned that he had turned in a very big work at Churchill Downs over the weekend. Royal Flag, great again today. All the Chads, very aggressive in their training, so you got to like what I saw there. And same with Todd Pletcher's crew. All of them looked very sharp today. I thought Double Thunder looked good. He's going to be a long shot in his race tomorrow. Max Player, thought he made a terrific impression today. Now, in his previous 2 works over at Santa Anita, second best with Clariere, who's got a big shot, I think, in the distaff, but I thought he looked really good out on the track this morning. Golden Powell on his toes. He looks ready to fire in the turf sprint. And one last horse I'm going to mention, Twilight Jet. I think he could be a long shot consideration tomorrow in the juvenile turf sprint. He looked good blowing out here the other day, and I thought he looked good again this morning on the muscle and ready to go for a big effort for Twilight Jet. That wraps it up for this year's workout report, the video version, but don't forget for more detailed reports on all the workouts around the country leading up to the Breeders' Cup this year. We have the Daily Racing Form Clocker report. The Friday report's already up and available. The Saturday report getting ready to be put up later this afternoon. You can purchase that at DRF.com. And I want to give a big thumbs up to my videographers for all these videos here. First Barbara Livingston when we first got here, and then Lucia Gambuzza, who was responsible for all those beautiful clips of these horses training in the morning as you have to listen to me babble on here about what happened here. But I think those videos lend a lot of good stuff for these reports. So good luck, everybody. I hope we helped you out. And remember to stay tuned here for DRF.com right through the weekend for the best coverage anywhere of Breeders' Cup 2021.